Cold open. No music. Just silence. Then a low, ominous drone begins. What if Tom Cruise isn't saving the world this time, but destroying it? Think about everything you know about Tom Cruise. Maverick. Ethan Hunt. The guy who hangs off the side of planes. The guy who runs really, really fast and saves the day every single time. Now, throw all of that away. Because what Alejandro González Iñárritu, the man behind Birdman, The Revenant, and Babel, has done with Tom Cruise in Digger, is going to break everything you thought you knew about him. We're talking old age makeup, pajamas, a baseball bat, and a global catastrophe that may have been his fault. This isn't Mission Impossible. This isn't Top Gun. This is something entirely different. Something darker. Something the industry hasn't seen from Cruise ever. So sit down, because we're about to break down everything about Digger, the trailer, the cast, the themes, and what this film could mean for Hollywood in 2025. And by the end of this video, you're going to ask yourself one question. Is Tom Cruise playing the villain? Let's talk about what we actually see in this trailer, because nothing about it is accidental. Iñárritu doesn't do accidental. The trailer opens, and you expect something explosive, something fast, something Cruise. Instead, you get a man shuffling across a kitchen floor in pajamas. Gray pajamas. Old hands. A man who looks like he's been carrying something enormous for a very long time. That man is Tom Cruise, buried under prosthetics and age makeup that makes him almost unrecognizable. And for a split second, your brain does a double take. Is that him? And then he picks up a baseball bat. Now that's a strange detail, isn't it? Why a bat? Why not anything else? There's something quietly threatening about it. The casual way he holds it. The way he doesn't seem alarmed at all. Like this is just Tuesday. He feeds his cat. He walks around his house. And there is this haunting, slow-burning quality to every single frame. Like we're watching a man who has already made the worst decision of his life, and he's just living with it. Then the trailer shifts. A scientist, Sandy Clarkson, and we'll come back to who plays her in a moment, appears on what looks like a government broadcast or emergency transmission. And what she says should send chills down your spine. The Greenland ice sheet is destabilizing, not melting in the soft, gradual way climate documentaries talk about. Destabilizing. That's a different word. That means collapse. That means oceans rising not in decades, but in days, weeks, months. That means coastlines disappearing, cities underwater. The kind of event that doesn't just change history, it ends it. And the connection? The drilling, the digging. Someone went into the earth, deep, deep into the Arctic permafrost, and pulled something out that was never supposed to be disturbed. And the film seems to be asking, in the most uncomfortable way possible, who gave the order? The trailer cuts to John Goodman, and he is not playing someone's lovable uncle this time. He is the President of the United States, and the way he confronts Tom Cruise's character, it is loaded with accusation, with political desperation, with the specific fury of a man who knows he has to blame someone, but maybe can't afford to tell the full truth. There's a scene where Cruise's character is being assigned blame. Corporate negligence. Political cover-up. The full machinery of power trying to redirect a catastrophe onto one man's shoulders. And here's the thing. Cruise's character doesn't flinch. He quotes his grandfather. We don't hear the full quote, just fragments. But the tone tells you everything. There's arrogance there. Genuine, unrepentant arrogance. The kind of confidence that built empires and destroyed ecosystems. The kind of man who believes that what he built justifies whatever it cost. And that is deeply, deeply unsettling from an actor we've been trained to root for. The montage that follows is brief, but relentless. Quick cuts of flooding, of crowds in panic, of political chambers erupting, of our star-studded cast reacting to something that is spiraling completely out of control. Ice sheets cracking, governments failing, the world tilting on its axis. And through all of it, Cruise's character seems almost detached. Then comes the final line of the trailer. Simple, haunting. The story is yet to be told. And we cut to Tom Cruise, this grizzled, old, morally suspect man, calmly bathing his cat in a sink. Like nothing happened. Like the world isn't ending outside his window. And the Digger logo appears. And you sit there thinking, what exactly is this film? Okay, let's talk about why this matters. Because this isn't just a new movie. This is a career inflection point. Tom Cruise has spent 4 decades being Hollywood's ultimate hero. Think about his filmography. Even when he plays morally gray characters, Collateral, Magnolia, there's always some redemption arc, some humanity that pulls you back. You never truly lose him. But Digger looks different. Because the character he's playing here, an oil industry executive or magnate of some kind, appears to be someone who made a choice. A choice driven by profit, by legacy, by ego. A choice that contributed to one of the worst environmental catastrophes in human history. And he doesn't seem to feel that bad about it. That is new territory for Tom Cruise. And what makes it even more fascinating is that Iñárritu is directing it. Think about what this director does. In Birdman, he deconstructed celebrity and artistic ego with almost cruel precision. In The Revenant, he turned survival into something almost spiritual, brutal, and transcendent at the same time. In Babel, he showed how human selfishness creates catastrophic ripple effects across continents. Are you starting to see a pattern? Digger looks like Iñárritu running all of those themes through the lens of climate catastrophe and corporate America, and using Tom Cruise, the symbol of American heroism, as his central figure of complicity. That is audacious filmmaking. This is the kind of movie that wins awards and starts arguments. The kind of film that gets walkouts and standing ovations. It's a disaster film, yes, but it's also a satire, a character study, a reckoning. Compared to other disaster films, think Don't Look Up, but with less comedy and more weight. Think There Will Be Blood, but with the apocalypse as the consequence instead of the backdrop. And if Iñárritu's instincts hold, and they almost always do, this film will not let anyone in the audience off the hook, including us. Because who funded the oil companies? Who drove the cars? Who looked away? Digger seems to be pointing that finger at all of us. Not just Cruise's character. All of us. Now let's talk about this cast. Because honestly, this might be the most stacked ensemble since The Departed. No exaggeration. You already know about Tom Cruise. But let's go through the rest of this lineup, because every single name on this poster brings something massive to the table. Jesse Plemons, coming off back-to-back award seasons, The Power of the Dog, Civil War, Kinds of Kindness. This man is everywhere right now. And every single performance he gives is unsettling in the best way. Whatever he's playing in Digger is going to haunt you. Sandra Hüller, the German actress who took Anatomy of a Fall to the Oscars and reminded the entire world what true film performance looks like. She is playing scientist Sandy Clarkson. And if the trailer is any indication, she is the moral compass of this entire story. The one trying to make the world listen before it's too late. Riz Ahmed. Sound of Metal earned him an Oscar nomination. Encounter showed his range. He brings an intensity to every role that makes you forget you're watching a movie. Whatever his role in Digger, it will be significant. Emma Darcy, fresh from their celebrated performance in House of the Dragon as Queen Rhaenyra Targaryen. This is a huge step into theatrical cinema, and based on their track record, they will absolutely deliver. John Goodman, a legend, a veteran. The President of the United States in this film, apparently, and there is nobody alive who can do morally complicated authority like Goodman. His confrontation scene with Cruise looks electric. Sophie Wilde, Bern Gorman, Michael Stuhlbarg, 3 names that individually represent excellence, and together create the kind of supporting ensemble that elevates everything. This is not a cast assembled by accident. Iñárritu builds his ensembles like a sculptor. Every person is placed deliberately. Every performance is designed to challenge the one next to it. The result? Something that feels less like a Hollywood production and more like an event. Here's where it gets really interesting. At its surface, Digger is about what happens when humanity digs too deep, literally and metaphorically, into something it doesn't fully understand and refuses to stop when it should. But underneath that, this film appears to be asking something far more uncomfortable. Is there a point at which corporate progress becomes a crime against humanity? And if so, who pays the price? The executive who gave the order? The shareholders who profited? The politicians who looked the other way? or all of us, the consumers who kept the machine running? The satirical element here feels sharp, deliberately sharp. Cruise's character quoting his grandfather, that grandiose sense of legacy, of empire, of men who believe they're building something, is a very specific type of American mythology being punctured. These are the men who shaped the 20th century. Oil barons, industry titans, men who were once called visionaries. And now we're in the 21st century asking, at what cost? There are shades of succession here. That same devastating examination of power, inheritance, and the way wealth insulates people from consequences. There are shades of The Big Short. The way systemic failure has specific, named human beings at the center of it, people who made choices, who knew the risks, and kept going anyway. And then there's the question of tone. Because the image of Cruise bathing his cat while the world ends is not tragedy. It's satire. Dark, bitter, exquisitely crafted satire. Is the film suggesting that men like Cruise's character are so disconnected from consequences that global catastrophe simply doesn't register? That they have insulated themselves so completely that even the end of the world feels like someone else's problem? Because if so, that is chilling. And it's also genius. Here's my speculation, and tell me if you think I'm onto something. What if Cruise's character knows exactly what happened? What if he always knew? And what if the entire film is structured around the gap between what he knows and what he admits? What if the story is yet to be told isn't a tagline, it's a threat, a confession held in reserve? And one more thing, the cat. I know that sounds small, but Iñárritu does not include things by accident. The cat shows up twice in this trailer, being fed, being bathed. A man who clearly loves his pet. A small, gentle, domestic detail that says, this man is not a monster. He has tenderness in him, and that is what makes him so terrifying. Because the most dangerous people in the world are not the ones who feel nothing. They're the ones who feel selectively, who love some things, their families, their pets, their legacies, and are utterly blind to everyone else. Is Tom Cruise playing a villain? Or is he playing a mirror? Here is where we land. Digger is not a film that's going to make you feel good. It's not designed to. Iñárritu has never made a film designed to comfort you. But it might be the most important film Tom Cruise has ever made. Not because of the stunts, not because of the box office, but because of what it asks, what it challenges. A global superstar, a director with no fear, an ensemble cast of the best performers working today, a story about the cost of human ambition, told right now, in a world that is actively living those consequences. This changes everything we thought we knew about what a Tom Cruise film could be. And now I want to hear from you. Do you think Tom Cruise is playing a true villain for the first time in his career? Is his character in Digger someone you could sympathize with? Or someone you want to see face consequences? And the bigger question, is this the kind of bold, uncomfortable filmmaking that Hollywood needs more of right now? Drop your thoughts in the comments. I read every single one. If this breakdown hit different, subscribe, because we're going to be covering Digger every step of the way as more trailers, casting news, and festival buzz starts rolling in. And until then, stay curious. Stay cinematic. Outro music. End card.